Hello and happy Tuesday, Diary listeners. This is the third part of our time with Wheelyum Dee. He had a three-part diary entry. We're so grateful to have so much of his time and energy, and we are calling this third piece, If Not For. And you'll see why. Thanks, listeners. Enjoy. Welcome to the Apprenticeship Diaries, where raw meets refined.
Let's be real, we're still working on refining.
What it took, what it takes, and the stories that are made.
Join us as we learn from professionals about how their stories begin.
I like questions. I like questions.
Yeah, because you don't usually get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. What was this is a typical one that I think has an interesting thing. What surprised you the most about tattooing, and what do you feel kind of was like a challenge for you in the realm of it? Like what was a struggle and what surprised you, I guess, about it?
The surprise of tattooing is what people can actually do on the skin. Like I said, when I saw the Josh Carlton, I thought it was fake. I did. I was like, how are you doing it? I thought it was not real. I thought maybe the guy was just painting on somebody's skin. And I was like, no, these are real tattoos. Also, what you say, the pressures now or the struggles?
Or just like, was there was something, because for me, like personally, a good one that I had recently that I'll share with you after mine. I still struggle with line work. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that is not my lines. I was always taught not to really, because I was more of a painter, so
Yeah.
they were like, there is no real lines in real life. Lines are devices you use to create space on a 2D plane. So you utilize them to create a 3D effect, and that's what you do. And it's a tool, but I was never really encouraged to really pay attention to lines, line weight, line, like the different qualities of lining. And so it never really became a big part of my repertoire. And it's still a struggle, like that steadiness. Whenever I see somebody and they're always young, and it always makes me so sick, that have the cleanest fucking lines. I'm just like, dude, the hell, man? Like, how?
I deal with it every day. The guys I work with, they got the cleanest lines, and then I'll do a line. I do. You're as clean as we are. I'm like, I don't
think so, man. Like, it didn't feel clean.
It's like, wow. But the struggle too, like you said, I think line work, but I think a lot of it is just like trying to make sure that every piece I do is better than the last piece I did.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, like I want to make sure that every time I do a new piece of art for somebody, on somebody, that I look at it and go, would I wear that? Am I happy for what I did? If I'm not, 9 times out of 10, I just like do another session for free.
Yeah.
And they don't know that because I wasn't happy. I just want them to come back in. I do another session so I can make it look better because I didn't like it when they left. And I know a lot of people are like, man, you're losing a lot of money. It's not that. Yeah, I mean, we make good money sometimes, but some of us don't make the money that some people think we do because we still have bills. We still have this. We still have that. Yeah, do we? A lot of us live comfortably. Yes. I live comfortably. I'll put it that way. But at the end of the day, tattooing for me, it's not all about the money. That's what I was saying about you earlier. I have to get in that mindset. Here lately, I'm like, look, no, this is how it needs to be. This is my price. I have to stick with it. I can't just keep giving like $2,000 pieces for like $20. It ain't $20, but anyway, I got to stop doing that. But at the end of the day, too, it's like, that's my struggle. The struggle is like making sure I'm still have the same willism look or whatever, or make sure I'm progressing or even making the last tattoo I did even better. If it is line work, saturation of color, saturation of the black, the blends are still blending. Everything is smooth. Everything reads right. Everything is flowing the right way on a certain body part. The healing process, because like even I tattoo, I think I've learned a little bit now. So when I tattoo, the skin is never red. It never raises. It don't even bleed now. But but everybody's like, your stuff is so saturated. Even people watching me, they said, but it's not even bleeding or anything. How do you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I just took the machine, I held it this way and did this.
Yeah.
And they're like, shut up. I'm like, well, it's like you said, the needles are sharp. There's no way you have to do certain things. But yeah, that's my struggle. Like I said,
it's a similar one of mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine is too. Well, I guess it's just, sometimes it's just, I don't know. I would say for me at points, it's trying to, like, a fear of success. It's a weird thing to say, but that's what it is. Because I know that with that kind of clout, there'll be more responsibility and more expectation and stuff like that. And I do have fear of that. I will admit that entirely. I also it doesn't feel like we were talking about earlier. It doesn't feel like I completely know what I'm doing. I still feel like at times I'm experimenting on people. So I'm just like, I shouldn't take your money for my investment in my craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different if you're like practicing on fake skin to, grow within your tattooing. But when you're taking a willing participant who's giving you all this trust and you're like, I kind of know how this is going to go, but like, not really.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at too, is I just always want to make sure it's integral and it's fair. And I will do the same thing. Like, I tell people I have a maximum cost, which I think is very fair. And I always take my optimistic quote and add at least 4 to 6 hours on that, because that's what kind of optimist I am. Like, I'll cut myself short 4 to 6 hours like every time. So I think about it, what it'll be, and then I add like 4 to 6 hours on it, and I tell them, this is the max.
Yeah.
It won't go over here. Like, you will pay to this point. This is what I will need in order to create an amazing piece of artwork for you. And I'll be good. After that point, though, we're just going to make it awesome, because that's what it has to be. That's what you're paying for. That's what I want you to have. That's what I want you to encounter the world with, because I want you to be able to go out there and I want people to be like, oh my God, where'd you get your tattoo? Because that'll keep me busy. That'll keep me busy. So it's going to pay in dividends later, because people are going to see the art and they're going to be like, oh my God, I want to go to your artist. Yeah. And so I do think that that's where you get when you give things away like that. Same thing with me. There was a lot of free tattoos in the beginning because people didn't know what you could do until you did it.
Exactly.
You had to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to take a picture of it. And then you like your friends that documented the whole thing. That's a very important thing. What's next? Like, do you have something aside from all the stuff that you're going to do with cotton candy after we get off of here? Like, what, because you've been traveling and you've been like pushing the boundaries. And I do agree with you. Guest spotting, I think conventions can be their own educational space for sure. But the majority of them, I don't like, because you're just so bombarded and so like crazed, and you're just working the whole time that you're completely like done. Like, you don't want a human anymore after a convention most of the time. That the thought of networking and asking somebody questions while you're there is just like, so at least it is for me. Now places like Paradise and some of these, like, what is it? There's the conference that Teresa Sharp puts on, like the Explorer conferences and stuff like that.
You said Teresa Sharp?
Yes, I know, right? Like, she's dope.
I have the biggest crush. I ain't gonna lie, I'll say it here
She's
today.
cute.
I have yeah, she is so beautiful and so talented. When I saw her win Inked, she won that. So I started following her, and I follow her still today. And I was like, man, I love her way she draws things. She's super sweet.
Yes.
So we had a tattoo convention here in Chattanooga not too long ago. So I was like, well, I'm gonna stop by and walk around and see who was here. I didn't know who was there. I'm just walking around, see a couple people that knew me. I knew them. We follow each other. So I just mosey around. I turned the corner and I looked over and I was like, Teresa motherfucking Sharp. I said, you're Teresa Sharp. She goes, yeah. I said, oh my God, I'm Wheelyum Dee. I follow you on Facebook, follow you on Instagram. I said, man, you are just, I was like, after I walked away, I was like, you look like, I felt like a middle school kid with his first crush. And I was like, and I hope I didn't like really freak her out, which I probably did. She laughed and she was like still super nice and everything else. But it's just like, she's one
hardcore,
of my
man.
favorites.
She rides horses. Horse people are like, they're tough. They're tough people.
She's one of my favorite female artists in the world.
Oh, she's
like, she's in my top 5.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah, she's in my top 5, and then I have the guys. Some guys are in my top 5.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know, man. A top 5 would be hard at this point. There's so much There's so many people that I've like never knew about that. Like, and I love it when I find a really talented artist that like barely has followers. I'm like, what the hell? This is amazing.
But what I like too, it's like, I think it's weird. Well, it's kind of weird to me a little bit, but I really appreciate it. Even though when I do conventions or I do like guest spots, or sometimes I'll do like little seminars, and especially like when I go do conventions, okay, people that come up to me that know me, other artists, oh my God, I had to come over and say hi to you. You don't mind if I watch how you do some of your wheelism? And I'm like, okay. And then I have like other artists that will come and do a seminar with me. And if I go do a tattoo guest spot somewhere, and I put like a little seminar on of how I do things, and they'll come in there and they're like, man, like, I just want to come up here and meet you. You know, I learned so much from you today. And then it's like, I really enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's kind of weird because even if my family is with me somewhere, they're like, they just treat me like bug or wheel, or, you know, they just like, I'm just, you know, you're just my brother, or you're my cousin, or
they know all your shit.
Yeah. So when they see me out and about, or they go to a convention, they see like, man, you're kind of like famous. I'm like,
big deal.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, they say like, yeah, and I'm like, I said, shh, don't tell nobody.
No.
I still wash dishes by hand and everything else and stuff, and you know, I still put my shoes on sometimes the right way. Just depends on. So, you know, that's one thing I love. I love it, but it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know what to say to people.
Yeah.
You know, even though,
I had a girl recently, and she was kind of getting into something that she felt very pulled to. And I was like, okay. The problem is that it struck me as maybe more dangerous, edgy. Not that it hasn't been done, but that's where I was cautioning her. And she was like, well, you know, like, this just feels very true to me. And it just feels like I'm finally being seen for me. And I was like, you're not, though. She's like, but I'm always somebody's brother, or always somebody's mom, or always somebody's this or that. And I'm like, you're always going to be somebody's box, baby. Like everybody will put you in a box. I'm telling you, as the tattoo artist that can't have an opinion outside of tattooing, because God forbid I have a brain or an opinion or a thought outside of that space that's convenient for everybody to put me in. Everybody puts you in a box that's comfortable for them. And they're lying to you if they tell you otherwise. Some people, the box is bigger, you know, but it's still a box. And the only reality that you have, the only relationship where all bets are off, you're being completely seen to a point where it's very confronting, is between you and God. That's it. But everybody else, they're seeing it this one way, and it gets old. You're going to follow this to its point where you're going to really resent the fact that that's how people see you. You know, because all of us do. I was like, I've been a tattoo artist long enough to be like, Dick, I am so much more than fucking, like, I'm human. Like you just said, I wash my dishes. I got bills. I got, you know, I got cats. I got people who die in my life. I get sick. Like it happens. Like, and that's the other thing is that, like, when you're in those beginning phases, you want it so badly that you forget that like that you're gonna be so successful to the point where it's gonna blow your mind and kind of feel really weird.
Right.
Because you're gonna be this thing in somebody's mind that it's like, dude, and thank you, but I'm flawed. I'm very flawed.
I'm definitely flawed. Yeah.
Yeah. Go talk to my ex-boyfriends for a second. You know, like just go talk to them and like bring yourself down a little bit, because I'm sure then you'll get the real story, or at least somewhere in the middle. Because you know that's probably more accurate. But that's I hear you, and that's a good point, because you know the way you felt about Teresa Sharp, that's how other people feel about you. And so I encourage people to, at any phase of where they're trying to pursue passion, you know, talk about it. Talk about the people you idealize, the people that you fangirl about, because they're just people, and they love you. Like at the end of the day, if they don't appreciate that, then they're a dick, and they're probably not worth your care like that. But most are like, oh man, thanks for loving what I do. And they'll probably come off a lot of things that you never thought they'd give you for nothing. And you might be that person to somebody else too, that you really don't understand is looking up to you. So, you know, that's, you know, and it can be a lot of things. I mean, we don't know how long this life will last. And having a recording like this is so valuable, because, you know, you have kids, you have people in your life, and, you know, and having lost people, you know, what kind of things, you know, are left behind that you just want to hold on to. And if you have something of somebody like this, where, you know, they get to hear you laughing and all your influences and like, you know, all that's money, man. Like that's real. Those are gems. So, and all of us have that to contribute. And I really like getting the story. I find that getting somebody's story is, so key to, I don't know, just why we're here. You know, like we're all a lot more similar than we are different. I think the differences are fun and they're very colorful and it makes it really interesting. But at our core, we're very similar. And I just want people to know that you're like you had said, you're not kept from any of it. Like you can teach people to do any of what we're doing. You know, you just gotta want it. You just gotta want it. Yeah.
Like I'm glad you brought that up again, because I think I've told you before, where even though if I do like little seminars, I started doing the seminars where people's like, they'll pull out a pad and a pencil and they go, what needles you use? I'm like, I use sharp ones. They're like, what machine you use? I'm like, it doesn't really matter. They're like, what? I said, well, here's the thing. And I do this now. When I do a little seminar, I tell people to set up their machines, give me a machine. Give me 2 or 3 of them, of your all's machines. You put out the inks that you guys have. You pick out the needles you want me to use, and then I will do this tattoo. And when I do it, they're like, I say, yeah, because you should, how would I put it? If you really want it, like you said too, it's in you to achieve what you want. At the end of the day, we have all this stuff, all these tools to help us get there. So why don't you learn how to use every tool? Like you can set out, like we draw things. We draw with a pencil.
Yeah.
So regardless of how sharp that pencil is, and it gets smaller and smaller and blunt, it goes from maybe like a 3-liner.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes to maybe a 9, a 9-liner. Then you got a 13-liner. They're like, oh man. I say, yeah, you need to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Every time you paint, you have different size of brushes. Every time you pick up a mag, look at it that way. You know, because the mag to me is just like a brush.
Yep.
You know, if you do it the right way, you're going to make some beautiful. I hate saying tattoos. I always love saying art.
Yeah.
You're going to make some beautiful art on the skin because you've seen it. I've seen it. Like, there's some women and there's some men artists out there that do some art on the skin that just
blows your mind.
Blows my mind. And they probably ain't even been tattooing 9 years. They probably been tattooing 2. And
no, there's a lot of fresh, like incredible people out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
God bless them, because it's very inspiring to see.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, I look at it and go, how long you been tattooing? They're like, oh, just 2 years. I'm like, what?
It's awesome.
And then I'm like, then I see OGs that's been tattooing 20, 30 years, and I still respect them more than anything else, because if it wasn't for them doing what they did for the tattoo community, we would not be here doing what we do today. Yeah. Like Marshall Bennett. I talk to his wife like every day.
Aww.
Like, she checks on me with all the stuff. Even Joshua's Carlton's wife, I talk to her every now and then, see how she's doing.
Yeah.
The real ones in the tattoo community that are really great are the most humble. And the ones that actually reach out to me, they don't do it like in the open.
Right.
They'll call my phone, or they'll do this. They'll call me on, like, you know, video chat and like actually talk to me and see how my day was, or see this, or give me some better advice, how to maybe approach things. And no matter what I've said over the years, no matter what I've done, they're still here. They haven't blocked me. They don't say anything bad about me. They still, like, they help me, put it that way.
Yeah.
To tone some of the stuff down a little bit that I've tried on certain different things. But it's like, they're the ones I respect more. There's like Eddie Kane and Brittany Kane. They own Myrtle Beach Inc.
Okay. Right on.
So I went and did a guest spot with them and everything else. So I had a basically the argument with one of their artists, and find out, but I still respect Eddie. I still respect Brittany. Another guy that got me, and him and his wife, John Harvey.
Nice.
And his wife, I'm drawing a blank of her name. Sorry. But they're actually, I was going to quit tattooing in 2018.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't.
They actually sent, their tattoo shop, Founding Ink, was in Gillette, Wyoming. Okay. Wow. They sent me a bus ticket to get, because I lost everything. I had to start my life all over again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not tattooing. I went and got a regular job. They sent me a bus ticket and got me a bus. It took 4 days to get to Wyoming on a bus.
How is Wyoming? Because it seems healing. It seems like a place that is gorgeous. Man,
it's gorgeous. Like, I got to see, like, I got to go up into Montana.
Wow.
I got to see, I went off to South Dakota, which I actually got to see Mount Rushmore.
Nice.
In person. Like, we seen it on movies.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you see this stuff in person, if you really appreciate life, if you really appreciate things in life that God has gave other artists ability to make, or just even seeing things that God created, it just blew my mind. Even like, I got to see awesome. Devil's Tower.
Wow. Yeah.
I've got to experience so much stuff traveling all over the United States. Maybe I haven't took a lot of pictures, and people always say, you've been all these places, and you'll post like the shop you're at, or you'll post your pictures of your tattoos, but you never take pictures of anything else. Me, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm
not really either. I've tried to do it more, but really you can just buy a really dope postcard.
Thank you. Yeah. But my thing is, it's just a memory for me. Because I've been single since 2018. So every time I go somewhere, I'm always by myself. So even though if I go to like see the Grand Canyon by myself, that is a moment for me to appreciate my surroundings or other people I'm surrounded that I don't even know. It's like a moment with them to celebrate our life here. Like Grand Canyon, I got to see Yellowstone. I'm going to
give you an idea. So
okay, go ahead.
Another one. So we mentioned postcards. My one of my favorite people at church, his name's Neil. He's awesome. Okay. And he said that there was a woman at his workplace before he retired who would just take this huge stack of like cards and just start flipping through them. And he was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I'm looking at my memories." And what she would do is she'd go to all these places and she would fill out a postcard to herself, and she'd basically describe her day. And wow. Yeah. And then she'd have it mailed back to her. So she just had a stack of like her life and like what she experienced in those days. And like, I thought that was a great way to have like a diary. I might implore this more as I travel in the future. Cause, like that's the thing is that it's all legacy. Having your handwriting and watching how it changes throughout different times and spaces. Like,
like, I don't know, you never see my handwriting, but my handwriting is like almost like a graffiti type.
Yeah.
Like it's like Slavic writing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like when people see my handwriting, they can't really read it, but they're like, man, it looks so cool, but they can't read it. But then it's like
even more reason to do this. You're gonna be like Leonardo da Vinci with some like code writing on your postcards. Trust me, it's just for me.
Or this might be a cool Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
That would. I mean, wow, I can't believe she does. That is so.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I don't know. It just gave me cold chills. Like it's just like a romantic type of movie that people like us grew up in. I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
I used to watch those John Hughes movies.
Yep. Oh, John Hughes was amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
My good girlfriend just fucking watched The Breakfast Club, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know if you're gonna. But that was like one of my favorites, and I can't even believe that she got through our childhood. Like it kind of like I'm just like, are you even going to appreciate it now? Like, are you even like it? It was like so awesome and perfect, and I know it transcends, and I can still watch it today and still feel that feeling that I felt when I first watched it, but. Watching it now as an adult mom, are you gonna get it? Like, are you gonna get it? I don't know if you're gonna get it. So I just like, I don't know if you can be my friend. She's my oldest friend. We've known each other since we're 2. Of course, she's gonna be my friend. But I'm just like, what? Right. How could you have not seen Breakfast Club, man?
Oh my! I know, like that blows my mind for people.
Around our age,
around our age that hasn't seen certain movies. I'm like, okay, then we're going to stop what we're doing and we're watching this movie. Well, how many times you've seen it? It doesn't matter.
Nope.
It's still these movies that like a lot of you'll never be able to redo these movies. No matter how much they try, they're never going to be able to redo what he did. And it's like a lot of artists. People get so close. Like the Mona Lisa, you can't. There's millions. I ain't gonna say millions, but like they found out the Mona Lisa, and you probably know this. How many layers is actually under that to get to where he got?
Yep.
People don't do artists. We don't do that nowadays.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, and that's the thing is that like the materials are different. They're manufactured. Like you're talking about people who had to go out and get like. The essence of the pigment and mix it with the oil to create the pigments they'd use and then layer it just so. Yeah. Like you're dealing with like you said about Mount Rushmore, like the idea of these kind of creations being made at times that they were made in that just required so much human collaboration and spirit and will. And particularly here, like I have gone to other countries and I've seen things and I'm like, I know that some of these artists were not like they did what they did, but some of them were threatened to do it. Some of them were like politically, they needed to do these things in order to like survive. And if they had done anything else, they would have been, really messed up. But like here in America, like for something like Mount Rushmore to like take place, that is like, the amount of human will and creation to do that is just stunning because, this country is, I think, very, very special in our formulation and foundation. Like our Constitution is incredible. It's such a beautiful document. I wish we were actually following it right now, but that's a whole other podcast. That's a whole other podcast. But yeah, it's a beautiful document. And the formulation of this country, I mean, that's what I think about too, about being a tattoo artist. When COVID happened, I like couldn't do art. Like I was like, I could, but I was really mad. And I was like I was like on red alert. My whole body was on red alert. And so people were like, oh, like that whole tattoo artist in a box thing, like, just go make art. Just, shut up and like, don't worry about it. You go make art and you do what you were supposed to do. And I'm like, do you know how many people died so that I can make art for a living? Do you know how many people suffered so that we could live in this country and have the liberties that we have, the amount of time to reflect and to even have social media, like for crying out loud, like how many people sacrificed their entire families to formulate what we all enjoy today? I'm like, I can't do it, man. Like I can't do it. I see so many liberties being offered up, like just saying, oh, we don't need that. And I'm like, what? What? No. Don't do it. But that's my own personal experience with it. But like that human creation is just it's incredible. Like what you said, when you really understand how much suffering and how much sacrifice goes into creating things. Even just a baby. I mean, think about what, couples go through. I mean, the mom especially, but everything, like all things go into that.
From day one.
Yes.
Day one. Yeah.
Men are confronted in ways they never thought because they're so powerless in so many different realms that they want to be helpful in and they can't. Like they just can't.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a whole other,
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's a whole other thought space.
They got new words for everything now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm tired.
I'm like, okay.
I'm tired. I even saw like a post today about like words that describe things that are hard to find words for. And I was like, is this something fucking real? And I looked it up and it's like, no, it's not real. It's some guy who made some dictionary about a bunch of terms that he wants to put, words to. And I was like, I don't need a word. I need people to use their words to formulate their thoughts. I don't care what you fucking call it, but context matters. So if you're not formulating an idea using words, like it's like you said about the needles and stuff, going back to your seminar. It's like, I don't care what kind of needles you use. It's what you're communicating that matters. You can use many different kinds to communicate the same thing. You just have to be able to deliver the message. So what message? What's your message? Yeah. So I love that. I love that that's how you do your seminars. I do think that's the truth. Jeff Gogwe once kind of pulled that up. He was like, people always ask me like, what do I use? And he's like, I think it's funny. I tell them, but like, the truth is I use whatever's given to me. Like usually I'll win a tattoo machine or
Yeah.
Somebody will give me something to try and I try it. So I tell them what I'm using, but I don't think they understand that I'm just playing with it, like, and
Yeah,
so
because
it's the same.
when I started over in 2018, I didn't have nothing. So
Oh yeah,
John,
Wyoming, tell me. Well, I had to interrupt us yet again. Little shout out to Paradise Tattoo Gathering. I had to do it, especially with this podcast, because William is actually going to be tattooing at Paradise. So come check us out. If you are in the Massachusetts or any of the surrounding state areas, it's going to be a fantastic show. It always is. Lots popping off this year. What I know is they're just trying to keep scaling, and the foundation of this show is probably one of the most integral that I've come across. I think there's only been a couple others. So if you are a tattoo artist looking to level up, or if you are looking to be re-inspired, or if you just want to network, or if you just want to, I don't know, take in all of the beautiful sights of Jiminy Peak, Massachusetts in October, right before Halloween, this show is for you. So please come join us. And now we can get back to our podcast.
Yeah, he gave me he basically gave me a machine, gave me ink, to start all over with and stuff. And it was like, okay, so
Aww.
the other guys that were there and the other women that worked there too, they're like, are you going to be able to figure it out? But here's the thing. What happened was, and I ain't gonna lie, I got locked up for 3 months.
Oh.
For something I didn't do, which I got proof that shows I didn't do it. I show people, they're like, oh God. So the judge basically let me go, but I got lucky though. Every time I go somewhere in life or do something, I always get lucky because I think God puts me in certain situations, because they wanted a couple of good artists to paint a mural in the jail down the hallway.
Oh, wow.
So I told Miss Jackson, I remember names that are really I'm not really good at names, but some people that really made a significant, how would you put it, made an impression on my life.
Mm-hmm.
It sticks. So Miss Jackson, I said something to her. I said, well, I'm a tattoo artist. I paint too. You can look me up. And I gave her, so she went on social media, looked me up. So she called me out, and it was me and this other guy, and we was painting this mural, different things all the way down. So every day from
wow,
10 o'clock until about 6, 7 o'clock at night, we were out there painting. We got to walk around. It felt like we weren't even locked up.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too. They also said we get special privileges, like we can go outside, take a break. We go outside. Mm-hmm. We can get McDonald's, pizza, whatever we wanted, because we're basically working for them. But the other guy, he did all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I still ate what they gave all of us inmates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't ask for anything special. I didn't go outside because all the other inmates didn't get to go outside. They couldn't go outside. So, and everybody, all the inmates, they noticed that. Even the guards too. I still talk to, I say about 90% of the inmates I was with.
Oh, I love that.
Talk to the guards and the police I was with down there, because they tell me man, you made a difference in this jail. I was like, well, I don't want to say, no, you really, because people still nowadays, and this was 2018, 2024, people still, my murals are still there and people still talk about.
Awesome.
They're like, this guy that did it, he said, the guards was like, yeah, the guy that painted this, he was the best inmate we've ever had. He never griped. He never asked for anything. He came out here and did what he was supposed to. And when we took a break, I would read my Bible.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I still read it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I live the perfect life still, which I don't, because
none of us do.
Yeah, I still have my days where I get lonely. I still cry. I get emotional. I still fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's really hard. it's hard right now, I think, just to give you a little, not an excuse, but I don't think there's a lot of male spaces anymore that are really permissible. And they just keep fucking it's like liberal women, man. Like they just keep invading male spaces and like not allowing for it. And it's so necessary for you guys to have. And just having done a little bit of martial arts myself, just understanding what that can do for your psyche. And especially the men, I'm just like, this is so necessary for men to not be enraged all the time. Like this is very necessary, like very necessary. And it's not, you're not like, how do I put it? It's competitive if you make it competitive, but it's not competitive when you're on the mat because everybody's learning, everybody's drilling, everybody's pushing. It's great. It's just bonding. It's just bonding. And it's really wonderful. So I just to give you a little bit of like, hey, you know, don't be so hard on yourself because it's not really an atmosphere right now that they're really allowing it to be easy to be a white dude. Okay. Like
a single white male is hard nowadays.
Fuck, dude. It's really hard.
Even like nowadays, I feel like even if I give a woman a compliment, it's so bad. It's like I don't even know. And I'm blessed that a lot of the female clients I have is not like that. Yeah. Like we are nice to each other. Like we can talk and stuff like that, you know, and just cut up. But I mean, it's bad that in today's society, I don't even date my clients. I don't even hang out with my clients. I talk to them when they contact me first. And I hate that about the industry and the way the life is now. Because if it was up to me, I would check on my clients all the time and see how they're doing, or, you know, just do little things. Or like, hey, you know, or like give them a hug. Like after we get done, like, oh, you know, because they went through some stuff before that. I can tell you as a female, that is a hell of a lot more permissible, you know, like a hell of a lot more, even though bitches be hooking up. I don't know, like your woman might really be into being with another woman. I'm just gonna let you know, man. Like the proclivities run the gauntlet nowadays. I can tell you. And having been hit on by other women, they are far more aggressive than most dudes. They are.
They do not really accept no. It's like, I can change you. I'm like, no, you can't.
I get, how would I put it? I get like, I'm not going to say I get hit on, but I get like some women I tattoo, they get a little smitten with me. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing against them because a lot of them are super sweet, beautiful women. And like their soul, their looks, whatever. I think all of them are beautiful. But my thing, I've told myself I can't ever date a client because I got to treat it as like this is a business too. So it's like I don't want to date a woman and then something happens and then I lose a potential client forever and maybe a really good friend at the end of the day. Yeah. So. And dating for me is hard. Like everybody thinks that since I am a tattoo artist, that I go out here and party and I get all these women and stuff. No, like I said, I've practically been single since 2018. I've been on like 6 dates since then. Yeah. I don't like. I'm looking for a partner, like somebody I can marry, settle down with. So if she wants to come on this journey, fine. If I go out of town, she has nothing to ever worry about. I just want to chill, lay back, a real woman. Yeah. A real woman that's like, you know, like we have our places. Like you can do what she wants to, but then if I want to say, hey, I want to go play disc golf with the guys on Sunday. Oh, you have a good time. I'll see you when you get home. Yeah. Yeah. Or like she wants to go hang out with the girls. You get a cup of coffee or like whatever she wants to do. Fine, I'll see you when you get back home. Yeah. I've always been that guy, and I think a lot of women, they like the bad boy part of me because I got two sides. But they don't like the nice Wheelyum Dee. There's two parts of me. Like I say Wheelyum Dee, but then there's like William that's super nice, and Dee.
Well, they like it, but they don't want you to give it to anyone else.
Right. But then if I'm really too nice, like if they're working all day at work and then I'm rubbing their feet on the couch watching a movie, after a while they don't like that. It's like, how do you like? You're gonna they get rid of me 99% of the time because they say I'm too nice. I'm like, do you want? I mean, wow, because I'm a man that's actually doing what men are supposed to do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never tell a woman, I can't be with you no more because you're too nice. Or if a woman comes up and wants to hug on me all day or kiss me on the cheek and say, you're doing a great job, or I missed you today, or she brings me lunch or brings me flowers.
Yeah.
Would I get? No. I would love that. Oh my God. If a woman ever, and whoever hears this or watch this, if
you can do this for him, like definitely hit him up.
Like, I will marry that woman in a heartbeat, because that's a real woman that really loves me and wants me for me, not me for what I have, not trying to get a free tattoo, because you know that you've been there. You've done, guys probably like, oh, I'm going to go see her because she's a good looking woman. Maybe I can get her number.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? You've been there too with guys and stuff like that. And you have to you be nice, but you got to, I'm sorry, but I have a great man I'm about to marry too. And a lot of guys, they get butthurt nowadays.
Oh, I know.
It's like, dude, just move on. Stop, just move on. Or
your ego is not wrapped up into this, I swear. It can be if you're letting it be, but.
Yeah, or women get mad at me if I say I don't date clients, and it's like, it's nothing against them. They think, well, maybe they didn't have enough tattoos, or maybe their hair wasn't long enough, or maybe they didn't think they were pretty. I'm like, trust me. At the end of the day, if I wasn't tattooing you, I would have definitely had something.
Maybe that's the test then, because I would say this, like if I were sitting in your chair and I heard that and I was like really smitten with you, and that's what you said, I would think to myself, okay, well, I can't get tattooed by him anymore. So I'm just going to try and be his friend. And I'm going to tell him like, hey, well, if that's the case, then we're going to finish this tattoo and I'll pay you. And then that's what it'll be. But like, I'm never going to get tattooed from you again, but I'd like to take you out on a date. Like, can we go on a date? And
like put the work in.
Yeah.
To the man putting all the work in.
Yeah.
I wish we would have grew up like our grandparents did. It wasn't rough, but it's just like, it's always a romantic story. And they've been married for so long too. It's like, I got married to John right out of high school. He went off to the war, but I was still here for him. I was still here waiting for him to get home. They get home and they've been married 60 years still. Yeah. And they're holding hands. I don't know. It's like I get goosebumps talking about this because I love Waffle House.
I think the difference is God was in their life. We've lost. That's how I've been able to do it thus far. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Everybody's going to criticize your relationship because, like I said, they like to lessen your shine, and that's the thing that really I think forges it and makes it strong in the end is the hurdles that you have to prove in everyone's mind. I'm about to get married to my partner. I've been with him for 5 years, but I took it back to God, man. I was like, listen, I want to be a part of this church. I want to be baptized into this church. I got to start living a life that I feel is integral to my faith at this point. I want to live more in a Christ-like way. No more fornication. He was pissed about that.
Oh, I bet.
He was like, I know. And he's like, babe, come on. We've already done it. I was like, doesn't mean we have to keep doing it. That's, I don't owe you that. And, so I really tracked it back to those more integral spaces. And I said, listen, I'm sorry that you're catching me now, but I'm almost 43 years old. When we met, I was like 39, 38. I said, look, I've tried every alternative route of doing this. I really thought that I really thought I could undo it and make it my own little thing. I thought, but now I'm understanding why it is the way it is and why it's formulated that way, why marriage is this and why it's sanctioned under these premises and why it was created divinely, you know, in a certain way and to be structured a certain way and how the values are supposed to be and what you guys are supposed to do for each other. And when you vow on that day to that person, what that means. And, you know, like people always say, well, you know, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. I'm like, well, I get that, but it's hard enough just getting somebody to value those core values that have been tested and vetted, like you said, throughout time and space immemorial of like people's lives. Like when you say love, honor, cherish through sickness and health, richer or poorer, till death do us part, those are very specific things. And like, and then headship, like we're talking about right now with like what it is to be a man. Like I think a lot of women, you know, they think of Christianity as like, you know, women have to take a backseat. I'm like, no, we're just appreciated for how we are, how we're designed to be. And our man, the only reason why he is the lead or the headship of it is because in the creation of things, if you believe the Bible, he came first and he asked for us. We are flesh of his flesh. His entire thing was to protect us, to make sure that we are taken care of, that we are, you know, just protected. And all of the things that he's supposed to do, he's supposed to love us the way Christ loves the church. The way, you know, that he's supposed to, that's the kind of worship of us that he's supposed to be willing, because he's taking that position, to lay down his life at any moment for our sake. That's the kind of thing that's talked about. Really? That's making you upset? Because it doesn't make me upset. It doesn't make me upset. That makes me feel really good, actually. I kind of want that because, you know, like life's hard, man. And look, I'm a pretty dynamic woman. I know how to hang drywall, you know, like it's not like I can't do these things. But like you, I want a partner. Like it's so much better when you can do it with someone. And, you know, I recognize the value of having a man, especially a man that looks like mine. He looks like every race. I could go anywhere in the world and have a fucking pit bull like next to me that is like eyeing people and be like, you fuck with me or my chick and you're about to die. It's wonderful. And he looks like he's from there. Like he could be a lot of things. So it's wonderful for me to have that kind of partner because I go a lot further. I'm able to go a lot more places than I would have ever without him. So, you know, when you're picking a partner like that, and we should kind of, you know, see it that way, is like, you know, I don't want somebody who's just like me, and neither does a dude. And a dude doesn't want a woman who's like a boss bitch. Okay. Like, listen, that's the reason why a lot of my issues have come, if I'm honest, is because I've emasculated almost every man that I've been with. And I see this happening rampantly. They don't want you to be a boss bitch. What they want is some acknowledgement for the nice things they do that are actually nice. Yeah. That's it. It's like, thank you. Just thank you. Or babe, that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. That's like, go you, man. Like, that's rad. You know, like, that's what I see anyway, is like, you know, I know he loves me because I'm very different than him. I'm very feminine in a lot of ways that he appreciates. And because he can actually help me and help my life and be a part of my life. And I think a lot of people are just trying to be like just free floating, independent, bad bitches or badasses. And it's like, dude, it's not how we're designed to be, man. Like, it's not. We're here to connect with each other, like on a wide spanning way, but like within relationships, like we're designed to have a compliment. Like we just are. We just are. You know, like I don't know what to tell you, but we're designed to have a compliment. And you know, I hear you, man. I'll keep you in prayer about that somebody comes your way. I'm sure it'll happen. But I do if a client ever goes, you know what? And you put PSA out for this recording. You know what? If that's the case and you won't like I can't date you if you're going to tattoo me, then I'm just not going to get tattooed by you. Fine. Call your bluff. Like, and then be like, come out on a date with me. Let's hang out. Like, you know, yeah. Cause you know, if they're really interested in that for a lifetime, and you know, it might just happen that like you guys really get along and that just benches for a while. And then after a while, they're a part of your entire life. And then, you know, they get tattooed anyway, because you're just like, babe, come over here. I know what I said.
Or they'll get tattooed less because.
Yeah. Or, you know, you might be like, I don't want to look at this all the time. Like, could you just go to somebody else so I can look at somebody else's shit on you? I'll pay for you to get somebody else's shit. Like, let's use your body so I can go scope out this artist. Okay. Let's go over here. You know, like I think, you know, people don't think far enough in that way, but that's an attitude of abundance, right? Like, you know, you're not thinking about the moment, you're thinking about forever, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I think people who really fully value things, that's how they think of it, is like, this has its own impact now, but what will it mean years from now? And if it doesn't have that kind of currency, then is it really worth my time? You know?
Right.
So I like that about you. I like that. That's good. And I'm glad we put that out there because, you know, this is going to be like, I love that you know, somebody paid for you to go out to Wyoming. You know, you got to restart. There was enough people that like, no, you cannot give this up. You know, we see your love here. I'm glad that I'm really excited about, honestly, like that you had a prison stay too. I did too. It was like my own little version of that, but like I value those spaces too, because you learn a lot. And it just broadens your ability to love people and to recognize that we're all the same. And, you know, kindness goes a long way.
People might not think it does, but it does. It might take time to notice it, but we have time right now. It's not like, you know, everybody just rushes so much nowadays. It's like just sometimes just take a break and breathe.
Yeah.
Enjoy life. You know, because like Ferris Bueller, you don't slow down and take a moment to enjoy life, it's just going to pass us by.
Yep. Absolutely. And what are you running for? I can tell you there's no trophy at the end, boo. Not a one.
No.
It kind of sucks for everyone.
Yeah.
No, I love this. Okay, so I feel like we covered a lot of bases. We like circumvent a lot of. Is there anything that because I love that you brought up your seminars. That's something that you do and that you're willing to do. You're working at Wilted Rose. I'm sorry. Wilted Rose. Everybody there is amazing. The Apprentice is amazing.
Yeah, he's keeping in his comfort zone. He's not trying to get out. He's making sure he does everything by the book and what we try to help him with, and he sticks with that. He don't like somebody walk in and say, "Oh, well, you know, can you do a rose?" And he's like, I don't think I could do that yet. I've only been tattooed. And he tells people, like, I'm just an apprentice. I've only been tattooed in a short amount of time. You'll have to talk to one of the other artists about doing it for you, even though you might want me to do it, because I've seen that a lot of people do go to apprentices because they're not charging a lot. So they want to get some tattoo, which is sort of fine. But at the end of the day, if you're really a good mentor, you will not let your apprentice fail. Yes. That's how I look at it. I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to see anybody in the tattoo industry fail.
Right.
But I don't want to see people keep doing it for the wrong like the rock star lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're out here doing all this, which is fine. But if your art is not getting better and you're still putting crap at tattoos and still charging what I charge, you're a con artist. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I cannot stand because or if you undercut me because like, oh, I'm gonna make this money and I'm gonna do this and it still looks like crap, you're cheating the client.
Yeah.
Like just realize there might be, I ain't gonna say, hold on, let me rephrase that. Might be. There is better artists that do something way better than you. If somebody wanted a mandala, and I don't do them a lot, I never have. Once in a blue moon, I might do one. I don't consider myself really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's another shop or there's another artist beside me that does it, oh, you need to talk to that woman or you need to talk to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, I really like you to do. I said, okay, I understand that. I really appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure you get the best quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then me getting your money and just treating you like a number. I don't ever do that. Yeah. I haven't done that. I'm never going to start doing that. Even though if I pass up 5 people that walk in, because I know the other guys that do that style and they do it better than me. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we still got the lights on. We still get to come do art. So that's how I look at it. And they know this about me too. They're like, well, yeah. Like sometimes like I'm not tattooing and they're tattooing. So I go up to run the front desk, answer phones or,
that's awesome.
pull paper towels for them. It's like a lot of places don't do that no more. A lot of people, they don't want to put the time in actually helping. If you're not doing anything, help other artists.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're better than you.
Yep.
Or like even
it's just enjoying your time. Like, do you want to sit around and go, why am I not busy? Or do you want to just get busy? Just get busy.
Do art or like even The Apprentice. I go in there and watch him. I don't give him no information because it's like if he's doing what he's doing, then I don't need to speak.
Right.
I just watch him a little bit, like, oh man, it looks really good. And I just walk away.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, then later he's like, man, I appreciate that. I said, dude, yeah, you're doing what's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to, we can do a 2-part series of this.
Well, I'm going to break this one up into a couple pieces, but we definitely need to meet again. Are you going to Paradise?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. So we'll see each other in Paradise. We can always do something there.
That'd be fun.
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
I want to just only do black and gray because I'm not really good at color. So
get out of here. That's fine. I like color. I'll bring all the ink.
Okay. If you want to do color and let me do some black and gray.
Low-key, is that what you're getting at? Like, because I know this. I fucked myself over being a color artist, man, when it came to conventions. I'm like, fuck, man, now I got to travel with all this crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Or like the last time I went and I did a tattoo. Well, I went and did that convention at Pigeon Forge. And I did that big old skull, realistic color, whatever and stuff. Pictures don't do it justice. I couldn't get a good picture. But then I did a free tattoo on Apprentice that was for another shop, but she loves my work and she was like helping me out too or asking me because she watched. So I did a free tattoo and I won best black and gray tattoo of the day for her tattoo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I was like, and she's like, man, I really appreciate it. I said, look, what you do is pay it forward. Just keep listening to your mentors the right way. Keep doing it the right way and try to better yourself no matter what you're doing. Even if it's drawing, tracing, you got to do all the flash. You got to do the little walk-ins. Make sure every tattoo you do is really good. Regardless, if it's an infinity sign, put 110% into that infinity sign. Yeah.
It's awesome. That's good advice. It's really good advice. I gave the opposite advice. I told my apprentice, I mean, you know, it was my first time mentoring. So and you know, I don't even know how I learned. I think a lot of it was self-taught. So I appreciated the failures, and I give the world to my clients. I mean, I think that's the thing that people don't really, you know it because you have time under it. Your first people are like your OG people. They don't care. They're just like, whatever, man. Like I'm building a relationship here. So, you know, in the beginning, you want to do, at least my apprentice, she wanted to do so much so quickly. And I was like, girl, it takes time under the needle. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. You're way better than I ever was when I started. So I don't know what you're trying to do here, but like, are you going to be uncomfortable and are you going to fail? Yeah. Like, and I don't even know what your version of failure is, but it occurs to me that you care far more than even your clients do. And I think that's a problem. Like, I think you really need to, and I don't know, like, I don't know if that's what I've heard from most people is when it comes to an apprentice, it's like anything, you know, they're their own unique person. You have to respond to what they give you and what their particular challenges are and how to challenge them and how to push them in the right way. She became a tattoo artist. So, you know, and to me, that's success. We don't get along anymore, but whatever, man. Like I apparently, you know, I think I just failed in other ways that were about, you know, not being a tattoo artist and not being that way. Like we decided we weren't friends. So that's cool. Whatever. All the better for somebody else's freedom and ability to, you know, invest in their craft. But yeah, like I have considered it because these kind of debates came up while I was teaching her. It was like, you know, can I do this tattoo? I'm like, I don't know. Can you? And like, and she was like, look at me. And my boss, who was my mentor, he was like, I wouldn't let her do that right away. And I'm like, I wanted to do the world when I began. Now, whether or not I was successful at doing it, I don't know, but I did it on people who were willing to go on a journey with me. I didn't lie to them about where I was at. I let them know about as much as they could expect. And I let them know how, you know, we're doing a thing and you're doing it for free. I'm giving you something. You're giving me something, and it's either going to be awesome or less than it could be. I think the mentor is supposed to be there to make sure you really don't fuck someone up and that you don't hurt them, like with like, you know, like you said in the beginning, make sure you're wrapping your stuff right. Make sure that you're, you know, doing everything you should do to make sure that you have a sterile, you know, working plane and you're doing, you know, operational tools correctly. That's more it, because most tattoos, you well know, because you got where you are because of a very challenging cover up. It took you way longer you wanted to, but you were able to knock it out of the park. So if tattoos weren't, you know, malleable, I mean, it takes a lot to make something beyond tattooing over or fixing. It takes a lot. So that's how I kind of approach it, is like, let's see what you got, kid. You know, you might blow both our minds.
I have to agree.
But, you know, I mean, I did make her tattoo herself for her second one. And that was humbling because it fucked her ass up. She was like, this is a struggle. And I was like, yeah, good. I'm glad, because her first one was like smooth sailing. And I've talked to comedians before. I've interviewed them and they're like, you want to bomb your first time up front, because if you don't, you are going to bomb, and it's going to be twice as far to fall if you bomb later and you think you're so awesome and then you just fucking hit the floor. So that was kind of the experience, was like, she did really good her first one, and then her second one, she was like, oh, I was like, you know, good. I'm glad you felt it, and I'm glad you're feeling it on yourself. So.
Exactly.
And it's really, it's so funny because with those first tattoos, they take way longer. You're in that, like, I'm fucking up. Like, that's all that's going on in your head. And it's like taking so long. And you're like, when will this ever end? Oh my God. And then it's like trauma. It's like literal trauma. But then when you see the tattoo, like months later after it's healed, you're like, oh, wasn't that bad. Like it kind of healed decently. And maybe I was fucking myself up the whole time.
Overthinking it. Yeah.
But yeah, like I've seen like some of my first tattoos and I'm like, oh, that felt really bad when I was doing it, but it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, cool. All right. Wish it would have taken less time, but okay. You got to go through it. I agree with you. I mean, each apprentice, but I like the fact that he is keeping himself measured and like letting it take the time necessary for him to be the kind of quality that he will feel good leaving the door, and that he appreciates the fact that he's not only that for himself, but he's that for your studio as well, because he's being taught by the shop. And if they let him just, go out and mess people up, that's going to say something about the whole studio. So
because it's good. Josh. It's actually his apprentice.
Okay.
Because I don't have an apprentice. I don't think if I ever do apprentice somebody.
Oh, that's a question. Yay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's going to have to be a lot for me to apprentice somebody.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, this is doing that in some ways. I think a lot of the tattoo artists who've been in a while, they feel more comfortable doing seminar spaces and just really just kind of accelerating the education of people who are already in the industry than that newer space, because now we're having a phenomenon that is tattoo schools. And that shit is being broken up, and it's going to continue to happen. It's just like, you can't stop it. It really, but that doesn't mean that all's lost. It just means that what we are is going to have to change to fit where we belong in all of that. And there's still such a space. In fact, it's a very valuable space. And what's great is that the people who come to us will probably already be vetted in so many different ways, and a lot less bullshit. And I think there still will be, I hope, apprenticeship. I think for some of the craft, like stick and poke and like the OG, hand done tattoos, there's probably no other way than apprenticeship, to learn that. The purveyors of that probably wouldn't let it loose unless it was.
Oh no.
They demand high things from their people, and I love that. So I think it's just going to diversify quite a bit. You might have an apprentice. You never know. I could easily see maybe the guy that you shared time with in jail. Like maybe somebody there is like, dude, I'm trying to get my life together, and show you a portfolio and be like, oh my God, like you never know. Like,
that's one of my big things. You gotta know how to draw.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. 'Cause I guess I've been drawing all my life, and it's like, did I learn new stuff by watching YouTube or this or that or ask what, but I mean, I had that gift where I can, like, at 9, 10, 11 years old, I was drawing people's faces.
Yeah.
So it's like, I still can do that. I can just pick up a pencil and draw. So it's like, I think apprenticeship, I think they should know how to draw somewhat. Not like, oh, I went to so-and-so school and I got a certificate. Would you like to see my stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, it's not really that good. And I try to like break it down to them. Like, look, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not good. Like, this is not, and a lot of people hate me for doing that, but majority love it because I tell them, like, you went to art school for how many years and you didn't progress.
Yeah.
Like tattooing, I don't like seeing people tattoo and they never progress.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, then stop tattooing.
Yeah.
Quit having a shop down the road, open up new shops around established artists that are good, and you're just doing it because you just want to be cool. Or if you're not progressive, you've been doing it. Like I tell everybody, I've been progressing. But as soon as other artists that are better than me saying, hey, Wheelyum Dee, your stuff is kind of lacking, it ain't like it used to, I'm going to stop tattooing.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out how to get it better again in a short amount of time to say, oh, okay, I'm going to give me a deadline to make it look like, okay, well, wow, there you go. Or I told her, I said, I am going to walk away from, I will give all my tattoo stuff to whoever, and I will walk away and not think twice.
Well, that's a lot of integrity. I love that. I'd like to think that I would too. You know, I hope it's something very apparent that has nothing to do with art that really makes me do it physically. That really never culminates to me ever giving my all and pushing the boundaries of my art. I hope that it's never about the art. But I'm with you. The second it is, I should just stop. I know I will tell you this, that ever since COVID, and I put it out on the podcast, I have stopped doing as much tattooing just because of the way I felt about people for a while. Like I really felt I had to fix my soul for a while before I could, you know, meet people. I could probably still do the art, and I did for some, but I really couldn't open that up. And I'm only now, I think once I get married, that'll set my life in a whole different direction. Cause I've bullet pointed a lot of stuff to that spot, but yeah, like I get you. That's the way it should be. It's really the way it should be. That's the kind of passion it should have. And, you know, there's so many people to be still valuable to. It's not like you can't instruct or assist somebody who is the next phase of tattooing from that space, because you can. You know, you can look at their stuff, you can still give them insight, you can still help them tune their machines, you can still help them, you know, push their own boundaries. It's not like that isn't a place of a lot of value still. It's just, you know, you just know that you're not as fresh anymore, and you're not, you know, able to give that as you feel like it's necessary to give it. So then you just pass the torch. You know, I'm fine with that. Like, that's fine, man. Like, that's what I see when I see these kids that are like coming out and they've only been tattooing so long. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, how are you able to do that? That's awesome. That's so cool. And there's so much talent. It's incredible. Yeah. But William, I have to pee. I feel like this is a nice time to bullet point this though, because I gotta let the dogs out too. Oh, good. Well, perfect timing. I'm sorry that my bladder is the reason, but this is a good. No. We're gonna see each other in paradise. It's gonna be awesome. Do you have any closing remarks or anything that you want to say?
Only thing I can say is that oh my God, it's like I'm actually thankful for you inviting me to do this, because it brings out the real me. It shows not just myself, but it shows other people that I'm actually approachable.
Yeah.
I'm actually, if you come to me and ask me a question, I mean, I'm going to try to help.
Yeah.
Regardless of how we approach it. But it's better that you video call me, because me typing comes off so bad. It's just like,
no, I love that. I love that. Like, I'm grateful too.
Yeah. I am so grateful that we're doing this. And so then I can't wait to like do another one with you. So yeah, we can like, maybe I can share some of the wheelism tricks or whatever they call it.
I love that.
That I can share with other people what I do to build up like my certain stuff I do, whatever.
No, I love that. That's dope. Yeah. Great closing remarks. I'm very grateful for you as well. All right, my friend. It. Well, you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in paradise.
Okay, appreciate you.
Bye, my friend. Have a great day.
Oh, you too.
Thank you. Bye. All right, listeners. That's a wrap with Wheelyum Dee. Now, just to recall what we said at the top of this interview in the beginning, The reason why William and I got together in the first place for this diary entry, it was divinely inspired and such a great thing, but he has a grifter who is assuming his identity on Instagram. And so unfortunately, his account there is no longer a space where you will find him. You will find instead, as I said, a villain. Somebody looking to assume identities and clamor all of the accolades that are rightly William's. So do not follow him as of right now on Instagram. He's not there. Whoever is there trying to assume him is not him. Where you can find William is on Facebook, and you can follow both him under himself as an independent creative, and then you can also follow him there under the Wilted Rose, which is his home studio in Chattanooga, Tennessee. William, you have been a blessing. Thank you so much for your time, your energy. I can't wait to meet you in person. Listeners, if you are a tattoo artist, please consider going to the Paradise Tattoo Gathering this year. If not this year, the next year. We have this new feature now, which is a scholarship. So if you are somebody who would find it hard to stretch, please go. The deadline has been set. It is September 23rd is when you have your last opportunity to apply for the scholarship and possibly win a full ride. It's get you there, host you, house you, everything at the Paradise Tattoo Gathering, and then access to the most amazing artists. And it's really intimate and cool too. I'm sorry, William, to kind of override the conclusion of your podcast with this, but you're going to Paradise, and so I hope this is a shout out so everyone can meet both of us. But it's on a mountain, and it's a very small convention. It attracts the most amazing talent, the most incredible seminars. And on top of that, we really have the opportunity to meet each other. They're trying to do a condo crawl and stuff like that. So all the artists we're really going to be trying to network and meet each other and make memories. And it's going to be very cool. Far beyond just tattooing together. It's going to be very personal, very fun. And so everything that William and I have talked about in this last piece of his diary entry with us, all the reflections, all of the gratitude that we've expressed towards our influences, the people who have touched our hearts and our talent throughout the years of our practice, we're going to make more of those type of memories, and we might actually meet some of these people that we really admire in person. So I can't stress the Paradise Tattoo Gathering enough. It is one of the tattoo conventions that I make sure to make every single year. Every time I do, it's so growth provoking every time. So I can't stress it enough. If you know somebody worth nominating for the scholarship, you can do that as well. Just go to tattoogathering.com. It's on the homepage that you'll find the link for the actual scholarship. You can apply, nominate, or donate to the actual fund. So please go there and check it out. Give back to, if not your future, then the future of someone else. And as always, God bless you all. Have a great, and powerful week. Bye, everyone. Till next week.
Thanks for listening. You can find the Apprenticeship Diaries on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our IG is the_apprenticeship_diaries. If you would like to offer constructive criticism or an interview, drop us an email at theapprenticeshipdiaries@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from our listeners.